From the BIP perspective, we see it simply as having a clear vision, and then the strategy is the plan to actually achieve that vision. So for us, the vision is to be a global market leader in our field, and the strategy is really the plan and the steps and the milestones we have along the journey to actually achieve that vision. For us, it's that kind of approach. We want a vision that is always going to be a stretch and a challenge, but something that we can point the company towards. And the strategy really sits behind that, and it's something that hopefully everybody in the organisation can understand and buy into and understand what their role is in that strategy and the part that they play. I'm not sure if there was a specific date and time that you could go back to, but I think when the company moved to Park House, which was the premises that we were in before we moved here to Medius, I think there was a realisation then that the company had got larger and it had the capacity to get larger still. And it wasn't constrained in the way it had been in the office that it was in previously. And we've got 100 people here now. They need a sense of direction and purpose and clarity, which you won't get without a strategy. So I think that was probably the turning point. And I think also we're at a point with the business where we had a whole string of offerings. It wasn't just a simple matter of one suite of products or another. There was a whole range of services and different things that we were doing in the market. So I think at that point you need to start thinking, well, what is the strategy here? How do we decide what we're going to invest in, which direction we're going in, and how we're actually going to achieve it? Setting the vision is the most important thing. I think understanding what your aspiration really is. It's important to have a strategy that's grounded in reality. It's challenging, but it's not based on fanciful figures or things that are unrealistic in terms of your ability to achieve them. The other aspect that's maybe slightly less tangible is about the actual values of the organisation. The vision is about where do we want to be, and the strategy is about how are we going to get there. Then the values about, well, what sort of company do we want to be? How do we want to achieve these things? And at BIP, we've spent a lot of time defining what our values are and making sure that those are values that are consistent with our strategic aims. I think the important thing is the vision doesn't change. That's the long-term view. In terms of the strategy, I think our view is, well, the strategy can change, and quite often it should change, because we're living in a marketplace that's volatile and change is happening every day. So we shouldn't be so dogmatic that we've got a strategy that we can't change and we can't flex it all. If we do need to change the strategy, then the key there really is about communication. It's about making sure that the right people understand what we're changing with the strategy, why we're changing, what the impact of that is, and what it means to them. The last thing we want is some people in the business working on strategy A while everybody else is still stuck on strategy B or strategy C, because then you've lost that cohesion and you're going to run into all sorts of problems. Well, we're here. I think that's the clearest benefit of all, is that we're here, both in terms of being here in Medius, which is a fantastic new environment. We've been in here for just approaching a year now, and it's a significant step up from where we've been in the past. So as a real tangible example of success, then this building is success. I think another tangible measure is the fact that we've had a strategy of continuing to invest in people, in our processes, in our infrastructure throughout the recession, and that's been a very clear strategic aim. The strategy has been batten down the hatches but put your foot on the accelerator. So we're conscious of cost. We're conscious of the fact that the market isn't as certain as it was in the past, but we're also conscious of the fact that if we want to grow the business, which is very much our strategic intent, then we need to continue to invest and continue to make the choices that we have been making. Scottish Enterprise have been very helpful to us, and they're certainly part of the success story that's seen us move here to Medius and in some ways change our thinking about how we approach the business. In terms of just giving us some guidance about how to view things differently, how to look at the strategy and maybe see things in that we haven't seen before. So there's been some very kind of practical support from Scottish Enterprise. We've also had access to some fairly inspirational business leaders, which has really been eye-opening in terms of understanding how some really successful business people that have made real change in their industry, how they've gone about achieving that, and really what they've got to say about strategy. And that's really important in terms of generating ideas, but also it's just incredibly inspirational and motivational as well to kind of understand that a good strategy can have a major effect on business.